Hello and welcome to this new lecture. We are now going to understand how to create our first groove, and we will also learn some new keyboard shortcuts. So let me set at first the tempo for this project by clicking here, and I'm going to set 824 BPM. As you can see, the tempo track is disabled. This means that in our project we are using a fixed tempo. And let me solo the kick drum track by pressing the S button here. So if I rewind the timeline to the left locator by pressing 1 on my numeric pad, that in this case is also the origin of the project as well. And I'm gonna press the spacebar or the enter key always in the numeric pad to play Cubase. So if I press 1 again, I will recall the timeline back to the origin. As you can see, I can do it even if Cubase is in play, so I'm gonna press the spacebar again to stop it. And now I want to copy my kick drum sample to a proper position. To do that, I have to be sure that the snap is enabled. Do you remember? The magnet behind the display window. And I can check it from here, so the snap is now active. This snap type has to be set to grid, and the grid type to use quantize. Okay, for this objective I'm gonna use a quantization value of 1/4, and I can set it here. Now I can copy my kick drum to a proper position in the grid. And to copy the samples we have two ways. In the first one I can select the sample, go to Edit menu, and I select Copy. As you can see, Ctrl+Command+C is the standard keyboard shortcut. So I'm gonna click it, and if I set my timeline here on the second beat, you can ensure that, as you can see, we have first bar and second beat here. And if I now press Ctrl+Command+V to paste the sample has been copied. So this is a standard method to copy and paste items, but I want to show you a faster way. And this is the method I always use it in my production. So if I keep pressed the left mouse button and I select one or multiple samples at once, and then I press the Alt Option button, pay attention to the cursor, it will become a scissor. So now I'm gonna click and keep the left mouse button pressed until I release it to the position I want. As you can see, I have just copied two samples at once. Very fast, isn't it? Now I'm gonna do the same again, and I'm gonna select more kicks at once, press the Alt Option key, press the left mouse button, and release the mouse button. There we go. We have just created 2 bars of our groove. Now I'm gonna define the loop area right here, and I will enable the cycle loop by pressing this button here. Or I can press the slash button on the numeric pad. Do you remember it? Now I'm gonna rewind by pressing 1 on the numeric pad, and by pressing the spacebar on the keyboard I'm gonna play Cubase. Okay, congratulations! We have just created our first couple of bars into our project. Now let's move to the Open. I'm gonna select the track. As you can see, this solo has followed the selection. This is because we have an option enabled in the Preferences window. Project and Mix Console. Enable solo on the selected track. OK. Generally, in the electronic music, the open stands between two kicks. So, if I try to click and move my sample between the kicks, I can do it. Because my quantization setting is too high. So I'm gonna use 16th right now. Okay. As you can see, now I'm able to move the open even between the kicks. And as before, we can copy it by pressing the Alt or Option key, click, release the mouse button, and voila, we have some copies. Now, multiple selections, mouse button, there we go. Let's finish the 2 bars. Okay, we have just created our first groove. Let's disable the solo and let's press the spacebar to listen to everything together. Okay, that's cool. And this is just the first part. In the next lecture, we are going to continue by adding some other elements. But before, I have a question for you. Are we sure we are on time? To answer this question, we can use the metronome. And we can rely on the metronome because it tells us the truth about the tempo of this project. So, by enabling the metronome right here and playing Cubase, we will listen to our groove and the metronome together. Let's listen. Okay, we have done everything the correct way. So let's now move on to the next lecture.